Hi, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Alex Babbitt. This is a fun episode of Behind the Mic Stand. Now, we're here on behalf of the New York Comedy Festival, but this ain't about me. This ain't about that. We're here with a very special guest of mine. Now, this dude is one of my favorites because he's one of the most animated comedians I've had the pleasure of just enjoying as a comedy fan. Look, his feet are already in the air. Look.
Stop it.
I don't even want to... I don't want to waste any time. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for the one and only Nick Callas. What's up, bro?
Thank you.
My God.
So much. Yeah. I didn't realize you put your hand out. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Run it back.
Yeah, it's all good, man. I've always constantly said in my head and told you in person, it's like, oh, you're Jim Carrey of our generation.
That's
for sure.
That's the sweetest compliment ever. There's a select few, I'll say them, I don't care. I think, this is about to be crazy actually. Yeah. I think me, you, Nico, Andre.
You throwing some heavy hitters? Usama, Eagle,
Sagalo. That Abby Roberge. That's the only good comedians to me. And actually, and not even. But fucking shut up. Can we curse? We can curse.
You do you think, bro?
Cool.
We'll
Everybody sucks except who I just said. and a little bit, it's me and a black guy. Those are the only good comedians.
Here's what, if I can be real with you, I think comedy clubs know that too.
They better. That's why you'll get one of us and another one of us. You'll get two of us on a lineup, and that's kind of it.
Yeah. Me, Dre, Nico, and Eagle, and Phil Hunt are on their group chat, and we talk about it all the time. It's like we've all been friends for a very long time in the New York scene. The amount of times we've actually been booked on the same lineup,
100%, outside
of us booking it ourselves.
Yep,
it's like maybe like five in the past 15 plus years.
Straight up, I mean, it'll be here maybe. It's happened before that it's me and Eagle. There's a couple places that me and Nico. One's, I'm trying to think where it is that me and Andre will be on the same one.
Yeah.
It's not often.
It's very scarce.
It's super duper scarce.
Yeah. But I look at it, to try to be positive, I look at it as a testament to greatness, your ability, and just like people know. Someone said, they was like, we don't want to put y'all on the lineup because we don't want to waste you guys.
Which is, I mean, that's a crazy thing to think, is that we don't want the audience to enjoy it too much.
Yeah.
Which means you're actively booking mid-comedians. And by the way, I was fucking around before, there's plenty of good comedians.
Yes, for sure.
That, at least at the top clubs, no lineup is bad. Yeah. Or even has a weak link, dude. Yeah. But sometimes I look at a lineup, I'm like, 2 girls? I'm joking around.
Is he?
But I mean it. I'm joking and I mean it.
Yeah.
Because my real feelings about comedy, dude,
what's up?
Are almost they're nearly cancelable.
Okay.
Which is, it's
like
crazy.
What?
But
Just one, because I never want you to get canceled, but if you had one cancelable thought, what would it be?
I think I served that up way too hot, because that
should be super simple.
That can't be true, right?
You're about to say hate crime. The Asians.
I think we need to tax homeless people.
Yeah.
You know what it is, dude? I think that, all right, ready? Here's here's the thing that everybody agrees with. All right, right now, because of TikTok, Instagram, you have all these new comedians that are really just a fan of stand-up comedy and do what they think stand-up comedy is at an open mic, at a blah, blah, blah. But because there's so many places to do stand-up now, you can approximate the career of a stand-up comic by doing it a ton, even though the places you're doing it, the amount of people in the crowd, whether or not tickets are being sold, whether or not you're being
what you're doing.
The results of what you're doing, it isn't actually what it needs to be for you to be pro. But you can do it enough that you can sort of assimilate the identity of a comedian, then be on social media for tons of fans and followers. And just
technically you are.
Technically you are.
Yeah.
And you could also have the fan base from doing dance videos or weighing bananas or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Oh, this one's more.
Doing karate with goofy ass music behind you.
Yeah.
We love it. This comedian's great.
Right. And then the people go oh, he's sold out the Improv this weekend. And meanwhile, they're just not doing what the job is.
Yeah, because the barrier of entry for stand-up in particular is there's no barrier of entry. We can, and give a little grace. This is coming from a person that has put most of my life into this. I understand that even when we started, we weren't as good as we are.
Right.
So I give a little grace to the people that are trying to get better, but it is this weird thing because the titles, it's like you're not Beyonce just because you sing at your church. And as a comedian, you can get on the stages that Beyonce would be on because the highest level comedians come to the smallest venues.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, I just performed after Beyonce. You're not the same thing.
Because they sold it backwards. It's not. It's not that you got to Beyonce's stage. It's Beyonce came by your stage. I mean, it's fucking crazy.
Yeah,
to
with that analogy.
That's how there's an entire business model right now that is a leech to comedy. That is like Gotham's like, you want to perform on the same show as Seinfeld?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my god, I must be like one of the best.
Yeah, no.
Dude, that's so fucked up to do.
Yeah.
Seinfeld shouldn't do that show, dude.
But to the degree, that's how we train.
You have to.
So we have to train at whatever stage. I'll go by some shows where I know it's open mic level. I don't care. I'm trying to work this material.
Right.
So it's like, unfortunately, because that's the medium in which we work. We have to work under a live audience.
Right.
Unlike other art forms. Most other art forms don't need a live audience from the ground up.
No.
Singers, you don't need to fucking sing beyond your bedroom until you make it.
Totally. Because there's a craft element to it, which you can do. You can write in private, but you could write the most brilliant observation of all time. But until you say it in front of a crowd, stand-up didn't happen. Joke writing happened, but until you tell it, it's not even really a joke.
No,
it's a sentence.
You ever had what is your journey like with that when it comes to writing something before you get to the stage, and then you get there, you're like, oh, that wasn't it.
Honestly, dude, because here's the thing, I'm trying new stuff all the time. Yeah. But if I think it and laugh when I think it, or think it and say it in front of a friend or whatever, and laugh and they laugh, the hit rate of that is pretty good. But I constantly have new stuff. So if it's not one that I'm if I'm trying it, it's probably not gonna work. But usually I know. I usually have a good sense of if it's gonna hit or not. And also the longer it takes me to try it, if I'm on the way to the show or in the back of the room, and it's usually gonna do better than if it was one that earlier in the week I jotted down.
At your house.
The faster it comes out, the better it's gonna do.
I can feel that. Yeah, for sure. If you think of I'm really good with that with tags. If I think of a tag, I'm like, I think that'll work by blending these two together. Fuck it, I'm gonna try it.
Yeah.
And you go and you're like, that. I think some of it is just you're so excited to try it.
Totally. Oh my god.
That you're just invested. Sometimes it's not necessarily the best thing yet.
100%. I think they feel whether or not you feel it.
Yeah.
Because I've noticed this. There have been a couple times over the past couple of years where I was so caught up in thought and so passionate about something, I actually technically said the opposite of what I mean. And there'll be a double negative, or I'll use the negative version of a word, thinking I'm saying the opposite, but they won't realize because they can see what I mean.
They get what you're going for.
Yeah, that happens more often than I'd like to.
I love how much audiences and I actually want to ask you this too now. I'm thinking about how much audiences can feel and trust you. They can watch you and be like, this might be a little wild, but I trust where he's going.
For sure. That I think is backboned only by funniness. Because when I joke around about oh, these are only good comedians, what to me they have in common is funniness. Yeah. Which is a totally different thing than being a good comedian. Most comics that get paid to do it consistently are good comedians. Yeah. You can learn how to be a good comedian, but you can't learn how to be funny. Yeah. Some people, people in your life that would never be a good comedian, but are so fucking
super funny. Are you God damn, you're good at this?
You could not get my little brother to do stand-up, but he's the funniest guy I've ever met in my life. By far. Sometimes I catch myself
jealous,
aping his style a little bit. He just talks funny. But the thing that all of us have in common is that there's just a sort of inherent way we communicate. And the thing is, when you captivate people with that, they're gonna give you trust. Like they're gonna let you say things out of, pocket because they can feel where you're coming from.
Your intentions.
They can sense what you mean. It's like how many times you've been at a party and like you just say something kind of crazy that if you had said in
real life,
people would be like, "That's insane."
Yeah.
But because you're just like, I got everybody loose already.
They don't trust me, man. Hey, we drinking, right?
All the time.
Yeah,
All
for
the
sure.
time.
And you have a thing too because you're so act out heavy. Not act out heavy to not undermine your writing ability, but you invest in performing beyond a lot of comics and a lot of entertainers in general. Like dude, on this stage exactly, I've seen you do a full handstand, right? Up and that, because me and another comic were talking about this, the nervousness that you feel when an act out bombs, that's gotta be crazy. Has a handstand ever not worked?
You know what's worse than it? Okay, because yes, but in a weird way. Sometimes, especially when I was like coming up with it and trying to figure out how does this work in a joke. Yeah. Is that the handstand will work, but not because it's funny. Like, bro, you know how like you're doing a stand-up comedy show and the jokes aren't working, but they're listening, and then you do a handstand in a act out of another situation and that's not making them laugh, but they also saw you do a handstand, so they're like, I mean, I don't agree, but that's and then you gotta, bro, the worst part of my day is standing up from a handstand in a situation where like I'm pretending to be like a python jumping out of a basket or something, and nobody's laughing, and I'm standing up and they're clapping because it's like I don't want to do handstands. You know what I mean? I'm not a fucking gymnast.
Yeah, like you're fucking Dick Grayson.
They're literally just like, good job, loser. Like, the fuck did you do? Meanwhile, the comic before me is just like, and that's why I stopped using pencils. And people are like,
the pencil
and
bit.
I'm just like, he didn't even do a handstand.
His shoulders aren't even jacked, bro. I love that shit.
But I'm gonna act out as rough. But the more you like are willing to live in that act out space, the more comfortable you feel there, and then whether or not that bombs or a line doesn't connect or whatever, it all just starts to feel the same, and you don't care. Like, because big times where you throw something out and it doesn't land or whatever, you're just like,
fuck it. I'll say on stage, like when something don't land, I'll be like, look, I know what I mean.
That's great.
I'll just commit to, hey, might not be laughing. But and the more mature I get, especially from like you get like credits and shit like that. So your confidence is like, all right, my emotions aren't so invested in every show. Right. It's like I don't have to kill every time. Right. I know I have the ability to, but I'm working. Let me train this shit out. So it's like, all right, this not working. Well, y'all know what I was going. Do y'all understand the points that I'm trying to connect? And sometimes I'll just be like, like, all right, well, that's good enough for me. That's it.
See, that's the thing is like, it's what you said, where you know that you or the thing you're doing is good. Yeah. It's not about them this time agreeing. Yeah. Because sometimes it is just this thing where it's like, you don't have the energy, you don't have the clarity, but it doesn't mean that the next time you try it, it's not gonna. Because I think of it this way, I'm like, sometimes the show that I'm doing, the purpose of that show is being ready for the next one. Yes. It's not about like,
it's the gym.
It's sparring.
Some shows you're doing the punching bag and just like, I'm just trying to perfect maybe a little bit of how I punch, or perfect this other muscle of like I'm trying to perfect being more free with my thoughts. Yes. You know what I mean? Because I know that's the next wave of like when you're doing hours, bro. Like you're working on your new hour. You just did a great one. I fucking fucked with it heavy, bro. Thank you, man. Yeah, I love it. I love the anime theme and all of that. And it's like once you do an hour, and I've experienced this, and how do you feel towards this? It's like once you do that, your next skill set is developing more material. Right. Which is like hard.
It's so hard, and it's a totally different thing than perfecting the material you have. Yes. because one of them is about like just collecting anything you could. It's like, you know, it's like Mike Myers or Jason or something is breaking into your house, and you're just trying to like throw a fucking can of beans at him or whatever.
Yeah, of course you'd like to stab him,
right?
But the knife's not available.
You don't have. And then there's Act 3 of the movie where you're like, nah, I'm ready now.
Yeah.
I got my sword, my gun.
Let's go.
Yeah, totally, dude.
That's so funny.
I mean,
Great analogy.
I feel you 100% on that because especially when you do have like, when you go up with nothing, you don't know what or how it's funny. You just have like a really inspired idea.
Yeah.
And so you try it a bunch of times in a bunch of places and you'll get like data. I'm like, oh, like, okay, so the idea is funny, but the best way to represent that is by in this moment when I pretend I don't know what I mean. Or whatever. But they do, like, there's like, you don't know how the joke is gonna come out.
Yep.
You just know like vaguely what it is.
I get the feeling I have towards it, and I'm big on like leading with emotion. That's I've just learned that's kind of my comedic skill. It's like, but I think my fandom of like R&B music.
Yeah.
So it's like the way your fandom of like anime and cartoons, I think shows in your performance.
Yeah.
Oh, half of my jokes when I think about it, I'm like, all I'm talking about is how I feel towards the thing. Such a dork, right? But that's also how I create too. So it's like, all right, everything I look at, whether it's politics, whether it's my family, I'm always like, how did I feel in this moment? Was I scared? Was I in love? Was I sad? Like I go through that range, you know what I mean? Where for you, what is like, what is, I don't want to just say what's the catalyst of your creation, but like, how do you think you create?
That's a really good question. I'll say this, and I'll background try to think of the answer to that. I think that how you feel is the best motivator. Like, I think that's the strongest engine for a joke. Because you never run out of shit to say about it as long as you feel about it.
Yeah.
Because I was mad, and then that mad turned into sad, and then that sad turned into pity, and then you never really run out of what your opinion is. Because a lot of comics are just like kind of reading off a script in their head, and it's just their observations and little facts about stuff. But if you feel, like sometimes I'll go up on stage with like an extra feeling, and I don't even really have a joke. I just like, struggle with it, and it comes out, because people are like, oh, look at him.
He's fucking losing it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what's so funny is like watching people be upset or happy about something. For me, I try to think about how I feel about it. And I also do think about like how I move about it. Like I do think sometimes backwards where like, what's a feeling that I want to express physically? Like what would be an interesting, sometimes even like a pose. I'm like, what would be an interesting position? Straight up. And then I go, well, what does that feel like? What does that remind me of? And then I'll kind of find my way from it. Yeah. And then sometimes I'll go up with an idea or whatever, and it'll put me in a weird position.
The fucking Spider-Man pose.
Yeah. And then I'll just like, it'll be one or the other will lead into the other, and then it just becomes this like
trickle down effect.
Yeah, and I try to stay. I'll say this to like people who open for me sometimes. I'm like, stay in the act out during the setup, because you don't. Here's the thing: like, if you're like, oh, the other day I was like eating a sandwich. Like, why can't that be interesting?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because you're saying I was eating a sandwich, and then everybody goes, he was eating a sandwich. But you can be like, I was eating. You know what I mean?
Eating a sandwich.
Show them the sandwich. Like, why not?
Because
then what if you go, I was eating a sandwich, and then a pickle falls out? Like, that's funny. Like, anything. There's just free comedy everywhere, dude.
Fun.
How many times when you're like just doing a whatever setup, or and then somebody like coughs or something, but you're in it, so that's you make that funny.
He was at the bar with me.
Exactly. Yeah, this guy. You know what I mean? But that's the same thing. People go, oh, it's crowd work. It's not though. It's just like live comedy.
It's wow, because it is creating it's like painting the picture, but instead of limiting it to the stage, you add the audience
as the
background.
The
it's like acting.
Totally.
It's like they're the background characters to you eating a sandwich.
Totally, dude. I always try to think of like, if I'm doing an act out and I'm like looking out into the nothing or whatever, I try to put that, like if I'm in a scene in my head where like I'm yelling at somebody who's over there is where the wall is. So everybody that's in the room with me is in that room.
Ooh.
So that because they can feel it. They feel like, oh shit, I'm in here. You know what I mean? They can like sense that. Because if your act out like is like, oh, I was talking to the guy and he turns right here. Why wouldn't he be over there? Like, keep everybody.
You don't have to limit them to right here.
It can be fucking anywhere, dude.
And I think I've seen you do this. Like somebody walk by you, but excuse me, there's no one there. But excuse me. Hey, excuse me. And that's a person walking that way. I didn't mean to push you. I apologize. Excuse me. Dude, that's fucking genius.
It's so much, dude. It's so fun.
Yeah.
Because then you forget.
I'm stealing all of this. I can't wait to do this.
I want people to like. I want to see comedy the way that I like. I only do comedy as an approximation of what I want to see. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like if you were gonna make a movie, you're gonna make a song, you're gonna make the stuff that you want to enjoy, right?
Yeah.
Like
you were like, if I was me listening to this, I would like this.
Yeah.
That's fucking. Ooh, that's cold. That's so cold. Right? I love that. I love when I see another practitioner of the craft and them describe what they like their like science way of going about it. Yeah. I'm like, oh, I never even thought to do that shit.
Dude, you know who like I've been just like seeing Andre's clips lately, and he's really, really good at like these like micro emotions and details. Yeah, like things that like he'll sometimes he'll be, like I don't know what it is, but he'll go like you can tell he's like
he's rummaging through something.
He's doing shit. Yeah, he's really good at like his acting doesn't have to be big for it to be specific.
Yes.
And when you can see somebody who like can see what they're seeing, you just believe it.
It's like, simple. There's literally an acting term called simple, and that's what I studied with Meisner, William Esper Studios, and one of their main taglines was in like doing what you would consider act outs for acting. It would be like, be simple and specific.
Yes. Yes.
That's the whole thing. It's like you don't have to do like in a film. You don't have to be like I'm fucking writing and you're doing all this extra shit. Relax. You're writing.
Totally.
Who are you writing to?
That's it. That's all you need is just one. So like sometimes I'm doing like a self-tape audition or whatever, and I just need to picture myself somewhere or whatever. I'll put something that I really know what it looks like there, because then when you see my eyes go to it, you can see that I'm seeing it.
You're seeing a thing.
Yeah, I'm seeing it for sure.
Yeah.
And even if it's like creative hiding, right? If you have like, say a ring you're playing with or whatever. If I say like a ring, then like Alex's brain is gonna pick a ring that you know about.
Yeah.
So if you take that and you picture some clip art fucking bullshit ring, you're not gonna be drawn to it in the same way you would like, you know, your grandmother's wedding ring.
Yeah, I literally thought of the Green Lantern ring. That was the first one that came to my head. First ring that came to my head. It's like, if you could pick a ring, all right. Now I just love hypotheticals, and because I know you're a cartoon and all this kind of person, if you could have a fictional ring, what ring would you want? Or fictional item, what'd you say?
In brightest day, in blackest night, no evil shall escape my sight.
Let those who worship evil's power beware my power.
Green Lantern's light. 100%. 100% it would be that. Completely.
I love that.
I don't know. I mean, the Captain Planet one would be fun, but only if like you had like wind or something.
Oh, you don't want heart?
Nah. Because what is heart?
Honestly, I have no fucking idea.
That's what I mean. And also they gave it to that it wasn't a real one because that kid was like
the one minority.
He was not only the minority, he was also like 8 years old. Like everybody was like 16 and they let him come.
Yeah. All right, you bring the heart. Yeah, they didn't need him at all.
Low key, like if he wasn't there, would Captain Planet still form, but he's just a dick? Because they don't have heart?
He's just asshole Captain Planet.
Like he doesn't give a shit about the environment?
He'd be Captain Pollution, because that was the other guy. He just didn't have heart. If Captain Planet didn't have heart, he'd be setting forest fires.
Yeah.
Well, fuck, you need, now in hindsight, we need that one. That's the most powerful one.
Yeah. And it's also, but the only thing that sucks about that is that if you're out on your own, like you're not with your 4 best friends at all times, and some shit happens, you can still be like, wind or whatever. Yeah. But if your heart, like, what do you got to blow?
Whoa, love me! Just mad people falling in love before they kill him. Like, that's it. They just fucking Thanos him, throw him over a cliff. I had to do this for the better good. That's fucking fun. That's so fun. I never thought about that. I love that, man.
Captain Planet was like, as a kid, I knew it was trying to educate me, and I didn't like that.
Yeah.
Like I could feel that it was like supposed to have a moral and educational value to it.
Yeah.
And I was like, just fight. I don't care.
Yeah, I feel that because it like versus shows like, do you remember Cyber Chase?
Yes, is that
Okay,
that
the
was,
math one?
Yeah.
On
hated it.
Yeah. Did you just not like educational cartoons?
I hated them because I could feel that's not what I'm here for. If you give me a character that has powers, I just want to see him fight. I just want to see destruction.
Yeah, Dragon Ball Z.
100%.
That's why you like Dragon Ball Z.
And there was morals and values in there, but it wasn't looking in the camera and going, "That's the letter B." You know what I mean? Like fuck that.
Yeah.
Like,
You'd be like, you got to see somebody die.
I just got home from school, dude. Like, let me watch some.
You want to see somebody get murked and then go like, "Dang, I should have trained harder."
Yes.
Yeah, because you're about training.
Dude, I think that for our generation, Dragon Ball Z is like the single most influential piece of media.
Let's see. I can agree on that, and the only reason why I agree because on my way here, so I like a lot of like motivational content just in terms of what my algorithm shows me. On my way here, Instagram showed me a motivational voiceover with all Dragon Ball Z scenes. It was like, when you're training for the future, you must believe. And it's just fucking Vegeta like crying in the rain.
Tell me, what has more, what does he say?
Or power level.
What has more meaning than your own strength?
Yeah! Your pride!
Your pride! That's what dude, it's a show where no matter what, the lesson is try harder.
Yeah.
Oh, you lost? Try harder.
Yeah. Damn.
You lost again? Try even harder. You just...
you got good, but you can get greater.
Right.
There's always another hair color you can attain.
It's fact.
Damn.
It's fact. Imagine if every time in life, like, you got better at stand-up, your hair changed.
Dude, I would love that. And here's the thing, I think it does just mentally. Because you know when you hit a career milestone that, like what I said earlier, that feeling of I can do a set and like I could technically bomb, like by definition.
Sure.
But internally I'm like, I'm fine.
Yes. Yeah.
That's the like sparring in like Super Saiyan form.
Yes.
But as your new base level.
Yeah.
Like I know how to do well.
Right.
Whatever. You know what I mean?
Right.
I wanna fight.
They don't know what weights you're wearing.
Yeah.
Like sometimes in my head, like, cause sometimes like if I bring my girl to a show, I'm like, I'll say after, I'm like, the point of this set was this one line. Yeah. That 15 minutes was just bullshit to get this one thing working. And if it did, I killed.
Yeah.
I don't care.
I don't care at all about the rest of
everything else I already know works.
Yeah.
So like all those punches I'm just throwing just to get through.
Yeah. And sometimes you do a show where like you went in with like, I just want to do this one line, but then you see you might have to save the show. Like you might have to do some other shit.
Right.
And you're like, oh fuck, I gotta try. Fine. And then you take off a weight and be like, bow! Fucking explosion! Y'all happy? Cool.
Right. You ever have it where like you do the thing that you want to do? Like sometimes I'll have a new bit and I'll try it on a show. Yeah. I'll do well enough to when I do the new bit, they don't know I'm like doing some new shit.
Yeah.
And then it works. And then I got 8 minutes left, but I don't care at all. Yeah. I'm just like, what happened? Yeah. And I'll just be like, oh, you go like cereal?
Yeah, you just
look at this asshole. Sometimes
you just start fucking around completely. Yep.
Sometimes, dude, I hate when I like, especially now it's easy with like, everything's being filmed. So if you're getting, like when you throw a clip on TikTok or whatever, they don't know where in the set that bit is. Yeah. So it might be you killing, but I probably bombed. Like, if I'm trying to get a crusher thing and I get it, I don't really care. If I'm not like being paid, I'm not headlining or whatever, I don't care.
It's fine.
It's not for you guys.
Yeah, dude. I've said I have so many taglines for when I feel like I'm bombing, but I don't care for real. When it don't work, I'm like, this is what I do instead of therapy, y'all. Yeah. So and I'm not saying it as a joke. I mean that. It's like, oh yeah, I just don't go to therapy, so I use y'all as my escape to figure this shit out. Sorry if you didn't have fun.
Dude, you know what mine has been lately is if a joke that I really like that I'm proud of, I do it, and I can feel it totally worked on some people, and it wasn't really like a me thing, and just for whatever reason, not everybody like clicked with it. I'll be like, you guys like that. I'm amazing. You're bad. He's cool.
Yeah.
You're a pussy. Like, I'll just be mean, dude. It's so funny. If you're ever killing enough that they like when you're mean.
Yeah.
I was doing some show the other night and I was like, look at your fucking glasses. Like, I wear glasses, but I was like, you're just a beta.
Dork.
Dude.
Yeah, you don't get girls at all. You know what I mean? You're stupid. You're like,
Dude,
whoa.
there's such a like.
I
saw this movie once where the character said to somebody else, he was like, you know what I love about you is like you simultaneously hate a bully but can be a bully, and like you like to bully the bullies. And like I definitely have this thing when I get on stage where like I have my own internal sense of justice. Like I was doing a spot at Comedy Village the other night, and these like frat bro dudes who like are the kind of guys that like I grew up with. Yeah. So I love and hate them. They're my friend group totally, but I also hate them. Yes. But I know them. Like I couldn't help but say the things I was saying with love because I'm kind of saying them about myself. Yeah. But I'm doing a bit about a cat. And then so they started.
Oh my bad. I didn't think that's the bit that you were working at that time. So I was pissed off doing a bit about a cat. But okay, go ahead.
So I'm doing this fucking cat thing, right? And then the guys in the back just start going like, meow. And so I let it rock a couple times because I'm like, all right, if I'm not shook by it, they're gonna stop. Yeah. But they didn't stop, and so now I'm like, all right, dude, like you want to do this? Yeah. And I just, oh man, it was. You know what? You ever see a video of like a guy breaking down, like a stand-up, like freaking out a little bit, and they start talking about their dreams? Yeah. Like that's how you know.
This is bad. What I believe. I've been doing this my whole life. You're not gonna disrespect me.
I did that, but I still had like enough comedy in me to like make it funny. Yeah. So it totally worked.
I'm
but
fucking living my dreams.
Dude, I was like, instead of doing my dream, I did their life. Yeah. So I did like a whole act out of him getting home after the show and being like, remember I was like yeah. And there was so much hate in it. Yeah. But also, it only worked because what I was saying was true because I know it. Yeah. Like those are my buddies.
It's like you're an extension of those people. It's like I had a version of it. So I grew up in the hood, right? And we were at Dangerfields before it changed, right? It was an independent show. Bunch of hood dudes there, dog. Like just hood, like people from Harlem that came there. You could tell they don't come to comedy clubs often because like I'm hosting, they're dapping people up that they know. They walk through all of us to dap up a friend over here to the walk back over here. I'm heated because I respect the craft so much. Yep. So I start defending myself and then I go, the fuck is wrong with y'all? I just lose it. Fuck is wrong with y'all? Yo, bitches, y'all acting like y'all drug dealers? Y'all just a bunch of old fucking decrepit drug dealers. Y'all niggas don't even sell drugs anymore. I'm losing it, right? And you can tell they're truly upset and I'm truly upset, but I can only talk about it because I know the people.
Yeah, you know
I'm from the environment, so I know, they're not the hood they used to be. They was still very hood. It was like 20 of them. I know it's a problem because my girl was there. She's like, we gotta go. Yeah. They're plotting on you. But it's like to the point is you respect the craft so much that you protect it. Yeah. But it's also like, it is just annoying, dog.
Oh, dude, sometimes people don't know comedy well enough to understand that like, it's not bar music. Yeah. Like those dudes, these guys, they're just kind of like, that's a good one. Anyways, so I was talking to him.
He's like, no, it's not ambiance.
Yeah, it's not ambiance. No. It's like you gotta shut the fuck up and live and die by what happens here tonight. Yes. This is your night. Yes. You chose to come here. Yes. It's also wild to be like, $25 and then 2 drinks. Okay, so I'm spending $50 and it was $40 to park or whatever. And now, be fun. Like, let us do it.
The thing. And I think a part of it is because sometimes I've seen an influx of this as of lately. because of crowd work clips. Audiences, one, know the term crowd work. So sometimes I think they come almost on some like circus shit where they're like, I hope they talk like secretly. All the ones who like step away and be like, oh, I don't want to sit in the front because they're gonna make fun of me. There's also the people that come and be like,
100%.
I hope they make fun of me. I hope
Bro,
they say something about
when
this.
I started, it was like, I don't want to sit in the front.
Yes.
Now people are like, oh, can I sit in the front?
Yeah.
Will you
And
roast
they
me?
have, audiences have rebuttals now.
Oh,
They
oh
didn't
my
have
God.
rebuttals the same way back in the day.
Some of them have material.
Yeah.
Rebuttals. Like,
You've been running this bit?
dude. Yo, is that guy, he's going around to shows as a comic in the crowd, just trying out his one-liner.
There's a crowd work comic like that's in the audience. He's like, do your crowd work on me, bro. I'm ready. I got it.
And he has a taping coming up.
Yeah.
It's just someone special. And he just goes there.
He tours doing crowd work for other. That means I think you could hire that guy. That's so funny.
He uploads like reels to TikTok, but it's just the comics
of
and it's his voice.
He goes to different comedy, like comedy. It's just Dave Chappelle. He's at Radio City. Yo, do a better joke, bro. Get the tape. Get the tape. That's so fucking funny.
He shows up to comedy clubs and they're like, hey man, like, could you think you could do like 8 tonight? And he's like, yeah, just like 8 or 9 seconds.
8 or 9 seconds real quick. Yeah, bro, I got y'all need me? Yeah, we need someone to spruce it up a little bit. I got you, no problem. Yeah, my mom's a dentist. Yeah. He's always He's always looking directly. He's fucking Deadpool. He's just Deadpool. The audience thanks him after. They're like, yo, good set, bro. I know. It's kind of my thing.
He's like, yeah, no, I gotta drop in at West Side. I'll see you.
Oh, fuck, I love that, bro. I love that. Oh, I love how comics can bounce off each other. And, you know, that's why you're one of my favorites, because you've always just, you got it, bro. You have that skill set. I wanted to ask you, just because I thought about it on my way here, and we're like wrapping this episode, but I thoroughly enjoyed this, bro. If you had to compare yourself, I got 2 things to end with. That one that I end with but this one is specifically for you. And shout outs to the New York Comedy Festival one more time, and West Side Comedy Club for having us here. If you had to compare yourself to one anime character or one animated character that you feel like you identify with the most, who and why?
Okay. God, that's so hard. It's mood dependent, for sure. But Batman, Vegeta, Deadpool, I think would be.
Batman, Vegeta, Deadpool. And I feel like they're all very similar in some ways, so why though? Okay,
so for Batman's superpower, for anyone who knows, is preparation.
Okay.
And that he'll never quit. His whole thing is, I'll outwork you and I'll never give up. So the limitations of my own body, fighting Superman, a dragon, whatever it is, he's like, I will figure out how to do it.
Yeah.
I will absorb that information and I will apply myself to no end. Like, I will just not stop.
Yeah.
Like, that is my like internal monologue. It's just like, take no prisoners. Like, you have no option other than to reach self-actualization. Like, I have an idea. I think of myself as somebody I'm designing, and then I just try to be it more.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think of it like I have an avatar of Nick Callas, and every day I just try to add to what I want him to be.
Ooh, that's cold.
It makes sense to me.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with Vegeta. Like, his whole thing is like pride, and you can replace pride with really anything, but it's like he has this version of himself. He's like, I'm the strongest. I'm the
Prince of all Saiyans.
I'm the Prince of all Saiyans.
Yeah.
And for me, it's not as like egomaniacal, but there is a version. Sometimes it's like being a good boyfriend of my. You know, there's times where I'm like running late. I can't get the food. I like said to myself I will get her flowers, and like I don't have, and I'm just like, there is no other option than to fucking do what you told yourself you're gonna do. And I'm just like, whatever it burns in me to do what I said I'm gonna do, that's fine. Like, I'll make it fucking happen. I like feeling that way. Yeah. Like, I like feeling like it's me versus the invention of my life. Like,
that's interesting.
And then Deadpool, partly because he just refuses not to laugh or like look in the face of like grave danger and just like go, that's it, I'm gonna enjoy the moment. Like there's to me, there's something in the fact that he'll just turn to the camera and be like, oh, hi there. Like just like fucking
he's the most present of all.
Totally. Present and he's unkillable, like physically and also just like his personality never stops.
Yeah.
Like he's not gonna turn off. And there's something that's like really empowering about that is that like you don't have to not be yourself.
All three of those characters have a sense of they commit.
Yes.
They commit to how they're going to approach life. They don't waver by any means, even to their detriment, which is fine.
Right.
But it's like they are going, I'm gonna joke, I'm gonna prepare, I'm gonna win.
Yeah.
Even if you lose, that don't matter.
Well, that's part of why I love all of them. Like Vegeta loses all the time. He mostly loses. How many times Batman gets home with a broken arm?
Yeah. Got
96-year-old Alfred doing stitches on his back, and he's like, "You're just a guy, dude." Deadpool loses limbs
all the time.
Yeah, but there's something in that I like, because like everybody loves Luffy or Goku or Naruto, and I also do, and it's because they also have that never stop trying thing. But what they don't have is like eternal plot armor. Like they're never gonna lose ultimately.
Yeah.
And I don't feel that way about my life. Like I feel like, yo, it's up to you. Like you could super duper fucking lose.
Yeah.
You're not Superman.
Yeah.
Like
you're not invincible.
You got to do this.
Yeah.
So I like seeing that part.
I love that. I love that heavily. So I guess that will actually help me transition into my next question that I end every episode with. For anybody watching this, whether they are a young you, old you, they identify as you, or they identify as the character that Nick Callas will become, what is a gem, a key piece of advice that you would like to share with them?
Damn, dude.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
I love doing this.
You're good at it.
Thanks, bro.
Okay. First, listen to what you said you were going to do, and then ask yourself if you still want that for the reasons, if you still want that because of what's important to you now. Like what I want in my life, what I've wanted since I was a kid, I still want. But why I want it is different.
For sure.
Like when I was a little kid now, I wanted to be a famous rich comedian.
Yeah.
Because that would have been dope.
Yeah.
Now I want that so I can tell my girlfriend what to do. I just want to make the choices for the family. We're not going to Miami.
Yeah.
It's my money.
Right now, it's still our money. Yeah. You just gotta switch it.
She can pay for her own flight.
Yeah.
You want to go private?
That's me.
We go to Japan. We're gonna buy some anime statues, and you're gonna shut the fuck up. That's right.
All right. That was the most Clayton Bigsby white power my episodes have ever ended with.
Chappelle lives in like the soul of all my emotions.
Yeah.
All the time. Sometimes I'll be doing a joke on stage and I'll work, and I'm like, yes, motherfucker. Yes, right. Nah, man. I think it's just like listen to what you want and cross-reference it with like who you are and your values.
Yeah.
And just and never stop. Because there have been times where like I was like, oh, am I wrong-headed about this? Am I like slamming my head against the wall and like this thing just isn't possible, be it like this career goal, this personal goal, this relationship goal? Like, is it just not up to me?
Yeah.
Fuck that shit. It's up to you. Just be smart, be kind, and never stop.
Yeah. I love that. I love that heavily. So once again, man, just as a friend, I would like to thank you for pulling up.
Thank you, man.
Come on, man. I enjoyed this so much.
I love you, bro.
I love you too, man, for sure. So shout out to everybody for watching this episode. Thank you so much. New York Comedy Festival, Westside Comedy Club, and all our other sponsors. We appreciate you. My name is Alex Babbitt. This is Nick Callas. Have a great night. Peace.